And we are live. I am just going to make sure that we are live on right now on my page, on my personal page. There we are. Hope everybody is doing well. It is Friday. We are back for a fourth episode of Crystal Coaching Connections. So happy Friday, everybody. As I love to do on Fridays, I love to welcome you to my video podcast, Crystal Coaching Connections, where we spend some time every week to talk about health, wellness, and everything in between. The goal of the show is really to bring together health and wellness professionals in an integrative practice to fully explore our well-being like a wheel, like the spokes of a wheel, to create alignment and oneness. For those of you who don't know me, I am Crystal Baran. I am an integrative health and wellness coach that specializes in stress and anxiety. I work with men and women to reduce their stress naturally, all the while rebuilding confidence and really learning how to stress less. Essentially, I'm your guide to help you to get realigned. Today, we have my friend Julien, who is graciously offered to join our podcast today. Julien is an osteopath. He's also a certified yoga teacher, and he's the founder of Hakini Yoga in Verdun, actually, where I used to practice yoga with him and the lovely group of people over there. So welcome, Julien.
Hey, thank you, Crystal.
You're very welcome. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Julien. What brought you into this practice, and what is osteopathy?
Well, it's been 10 years that I'm an osteopath now, and I started because I was like curious about knowing more about my body and trying to understand better like my problems. Like often like therapists, they try to first fix themselves before fixing others.
Yep.
Yeah. So they study to understand better their problems and how they can help themselves, and then they can guide others because they've been through the path, you know. So I just wanted to understand better like how to use my body and how to be more healthy. Okay. Because health, it doesn't really have much to do with pain, and that's really something which a lot of people doesn't maybe understand so well, is that you don't need to have pain to be like unhealthy, and sometimes like you don't have any pain and actually like you are far away from your potential health. You know, you could feel so much better. But
I love what you just said there. I'm sorry, that is beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. But it's just like you have no idea because you don't have anything to compare. You know, like you just can compare to your usual state, and you need someone to really open up like the possibility that you could feel so much better. You know, why you wouldn't be comfortable in your body, why you would be just like not so comfortable but not painful, but you know, and why you would tolerate that, why you would not like really
explore and figure it out.
Yeah, and appreciate like being in your body, you know, like that's what we're looking for. So osteopathy is like a manual medicine, and well, I can't really use the word medicine. I have to be careful because we have been sued by the Collège des Médecins.
Oh God!
Because we have to be careful with what we use. So we can't say we treat anything. What we do is we try to use the healing process within the body. You know that your body heals all the time, even when you don't notice it. It's healing itself.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you have symptoms who stay for more than 3 weeks, let's say, well, there is something happening there. So there is some imbalance. There is too much tension. There is something compressed. There is like not enough mobility. Mm-hmm. So what we try to do is try to evaluate, to find like where is the imbalance, where there is too much tension, where is the compression, where is the problem happening. We try to find the source, and we try to rebalance things to optimize the healing process of your body. So we're trying to restart a healing process, you know.
Yeah, because
So if
sometimes
you
there
have
are blockages that stop that healing process. And basically
exactly,
what you're doing is
yeah,
working to find the blockages, find the root cause, open it up, and allow the body to do the healing that it's supposed to do naturally.
yeah, that takes time. It's
That,
like when you have a scratch on yourself, when you cut yourself on your skin, it takes like 3 weeks to heal.
mhm.
So if you go see an osteopath, don't expect to come out of it and right away like feel great. Like there is a 1 to 2 days where you can feel more or less different pain. Your body try to absorb what we did, and then there is like up to 3 weeks process of healing, that your body does. And what I want to really share is that it's really a teamwork. It's not like I'm just doing the job and that's it. Like one of the main way we address that is by removing tension. We try to find tensions because most of the time it's a problem, and we try to remove it. But if a person hold on it, if the person is really tense, we can't do anything. So it's really a teamwork. We have to allow the person to be vulnerable, to work with it, to really try to relax more. And relaxing is all something, it's like there is so many techniques and things to understand to be able to relax. And most of people think they know how to relax, but it's they don't. So it's
So
really it's really
what
something we need to teach.
Oh yes, definitely. And what I love that you said is that you work very much in collaboration with your clients. That it has to be a two-way street. It's not just you going in there manipulating the person's body and saying "see you later, alligator." When I saw you a couple weeks, maybe a couple months ago, I had a lot of the tension. But it's funny because with the way that you guided me through unlocking the tension in my shoulder, you really guided me to be able so that you were able to do your job. Because if I wasn't able to let go, I wouldn't have been able to let go to really start having that easing of the tension. But not only that, is that you said something really powerful before, but learning how to continue to do that afterwards, after I left you. And listen, I deal with stress every day. This is my job. I support people, I coach people through it. And I left there that day realizing that I was super stressed, not knowing it. I had to take a week vacation. I did it to be able to help myself, to be able to get through it. And look, the pain went away, right? But again, it took about 3 weeks, but it took also a lot of mental processing too, because when we start to go internal, that's when a lot of the change happens. So that's what happened to me. That was my experience.
Cool. I'm really cool too, but I helped you.
Yes, you definitely did. Thank you.
And I want to share as well that getting better is a stress, and sometimes like relaxing. Well, for me, the definition of stress is allowing something to happen in your body, which is something positive or something negative. And even if you go to receive like a treatment from someone, and you are so stressed that you don't allow anything to happen in your body anymore because you don't want to suffer, you won't even allow the good manipulation or the positive things to come out of it, because you just block everything. So even the good can't happen because you don't allow anything to happen in you. So it's even getting better can be stressful.
I absolutely love what you just said, because that is a huge when people are not ready for healing, this is what I say to a lot of my clients, right? Because potential clients especially, because if you're not ready for the healing, you're not going to be able to accept the actual work that goes into it. So whether it's physical manipulation or if it's mental manipulation, I can't say mental manipulation, that's a horrible way to put it, but the mental stimulation that it takes to actually have healing when it comes to those types of stress. I personally, I have somebody that I love and I care for that's in extreme pain all the time. And, we've gone to a couple of different people, but that person is not capable of letting themselves relax. They can't let themselves be physically touched, so therefore they're not capable of getting that physical alleviation. So it's really important. I like what you said, to find somebody that you find trust in too, because it takes a lot of trust. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, I have a great image for that. I don't know if you ever heard the metaphor of the lobster.
No, you're
No?
gonna tell me, right?
Well, it's the lobster. When he grows, well, is not his skin, is la carapace. How do you
The
say that?
carcass, the I guess the shell, the
The
shell.
shell, yeah, the
Yeah.
shell, exactly. So the shell get tight, when they grow, and if there was like lobster doctors, like the lobster would go to the doctors and say, "Hey, I'm really tight in my shell. Can you do something? Can you fix me?" So he would get like maybe an injection or something, or a medicine
Yeah.
to reduce the tightness. But it's like this lobster grow. So once they super tight in their shell, they shed and they change shell. So
Okay.
it's the natural process. Like they need to be tight to be able to grow, and if they reduce the tightness, they wouldn't grow. They would stay really small.
Oh my God, I love that.
So I think it's called shredding.
Yeah, they shed
Shredding.
they shed their skin.
Yeah. So this process is a stress actually for them, and it's necessary for their growth. Like.
And I love that what you say because when we talk about integrative health, I talk a lot about finding the root cause. There's a root cause for everything that happens.
Mm-hmm.
If for anything medical, like I'm going through a procedure next week. At the hospital, we are finding, because we found the root cause. I'm not just taking medicine to fix it. I'm not just pushing the symptoms on the side. I'm actually taking those steps of shedding that skin. I'm shedding that shell to be able to grow into it, right? Because otherwise, I could easily take medication to stop the symptoms from happening. And so the integrative practice is like having the ability to have people like you working with doctors as well, working with coaches, working with different people to become more whole. And so what kind of people do you help?
Well, I help a lot variety of people. There is really from the babies until the really elderly person.
Okay.
Like, but personally, I choose to not treat babies anymore because we have specialists in Hakini in my clinic. Like there is a specialist for babies,
Yeah.
and personally, I have 4 kids, so I have enough. I had dealt with enough babies in my life for now.
So you decided to pass it on to somebody else who has specialty in it.
Well, I just like to explain things, and I like to explain how to relax and what's happening in the body. So I can't do that with babies.
Yeah.
And often when you treat babies, it's really hard to deal with a parent in the room because it's like
It's emotional.
it's like psychologue. They say, when you bring a baby, actually, it's the parents you need to treat most of the time, the kid. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's the same with osteopathy. Sometimes, like really stressed babies is actually really stressed parents.
Yeah.
And so it's complicated. It's not easy. So I'm happy that there is some specialists in Hakini, and I can concentrate on what I prefer.
Yeah.
And I decided.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off there, but stressed babies come from stressed parents, and that is so important to know. Like when we are living, like if I have somebody living in my house that's stressed all the time, chances are everybody in the house is going to have that level of stress that's going to be with them, and it might not be their stress anymore. It becomes part of, like, you become part of their stress. So yeah, that's huge. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's huge, and the person might not even notice it. Like, I might say that, and some parents might get like offended. They could say, "No, my baby is stressed, but I'm not stressed," and you just don't realize because it's your normal state. Like, so it's important to step back and to have maybe to rethink about it.
It's so funny that you say that, because I say that all the time. I used to be a stressed person. I used to associate myself with being a stressed person, that it was natural, that it was normal. It was my regular state, which is not something that should be a regular state, but I didn't know any different because I'd been that way pretty much all of my life. So until I understood that it wasn't a normal state, you're not actually capable of making the change.
No, you can't.
And you own it. I owned it for years. I'm like, oh, I'm just stressed. That's just normal. Like I run off of stress. I thrive off of stress. Have you ever heard that? People are like, yeah, when I'm stressed, I work better. Well,
it's like part of your identity. You identify yourself to that.
It was 100% my identity, and I didn't know. And so I'm glad that I was able to take that route out of my, take that association out of my life.
And the problem is that it's even glorified, you know, because we are so much in a society of performance, and so we glorify like how much a person can withstand stress. You know, we're gonna say it's positive attributes. So I think we need to step back from that.
Work well under pressure.
Well, so what the person I like to help now, it's a person which want to go back to an active life, you know, person who have been like struggling to go back to physical activity. You know, they've been inactive for a while and they want to go back, and they keep injuring themselves.
Yeah.
So I like to take them and to accompany them to go step by step to what you need to manage and to have for basic in your body to be able to then go do some stuff you like dancing or like your passions.
Yeah.
So some people are cut from that because as soon as they try to re-go from a past injury, they injure themselves again. So they lost the minimal state you need in your body of tonicity, of balance to be able to function. Yeah. And so they're really frustrated and they don't know what to do because they gain weight, they can't get the endorphin from the sport, they are motivated to get better and to be active, but they can't because they keep back from the pain and from the injury. So it's really a dead end, you know, and I like to address that because I feel that I'm qualified through all my yoga teacher journey. Because right now I'm not teaching yoga anymore. I decided to stop teaching groups because I feel I'm much more qualified to one-on-one because it's so much details and so much information I want to transmit, and I have to tailor it properly for the person. Yeah, exactly, because everyone needs the information, but in a different way sometimes. So it's much easier when it's one-on-one than in a group. So I'm happy to do that now, to accompany someone from step zero to go back to be active and be enjoying life without being worried to get injured again, you know.
So not only do you do I feel like you're saying you work mostly with readaptation for past injuries and stuff like that, and you've tailored your service in the osteopathic world, but also combined it with the one-on-one teachings of the yoga to get them through, you know, to maybe start that physical activity again as well.
That's actually my objective for the coming years, you know.
I love it.
Right, because right now it's not exactly what I'm doing mostly, and I just would like to invite that more in my practice because I feel I can really do the difference there, and so that's my objective, to try to help people like that mostly more and more in the coming years.
That's amazing. Do you find that so I mean, in a lot of practices, I mean, for example, doctors, you go to doctors your whole life, you know, sometimes if you go to therapists, you go to them for many years. What is the standard amount of time that you usually work with a client? So for example, me, I work with clients usually for 3-month sessions. Sometimes it extends for another 3 months, but usually, you know, the healing actually happens, and therefore the client is able to learn how to do things on their own and make those changes themselves, and the healing will start to be more natural. How about you? What's the traditional flow with your client? How many sessions do you think that it takes for, you know, injuries to heal themselves and to have the body start doing that healing process for you?
So that's a great question. Actually, for someone like, let's say, the average person which has an injury which has been there for 3 weeks, because usually 3 weeks it's a key time for injury to heal, you know, like I like to always take back the example of when you cut yourself, you know, it takes 3 weeks for your skin. So it's mostly the same for inside your body. If you've been in pain for 3 weeks and you come to see an osteopath, like, we're going to be able to help you quite fast usually, you know, like in one session you should have like some improvement in the coming days, and it can go up to 2 to 3 times, like let's say up to 3 times.
Yeah.
So that's the average. When someone like has been dealing with something which is chronic, which has been more than 6 months, it takes more time because there is always like inflammation to deal with as well. So it becomes like multifactorial. It's more
It's not just
complicated.
one thing that you're dealing with anymore. It's
No,
everything.
it's a big picture. So it's hard because we can help for the mechanics, and we can help with the nervous system, try to teach how to relax and calm down and all that. But it takes like some adjustment on other part of their life,
Okay.
So I like to explain that for me, pain it's a guide. It's actually telling you something. It's a message. It's a motivation to change. It's calling you to change something. Okay, so
motivation to change. I like that.
Because you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
If there is some pain, you're doing something wrong. So I know it's not easy to find the answer, and often we try to find the answer in many different ways, but it's easy to get discouraged. But for sure there is something wrong. For sure, it's just sometimes it's hard to find, and you need really to step back to see the biggest picture. So that might take like more time. Like I would say, I like to leave like some space between the sessions, because as I said, we try to restart the healing process. So that's we like to give like between 2 to 3 weeks between each session.
Okay.
Except if the person is having pain at night.
Okay.
And can't
they
sleep.
Can't sleep, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
that's the healing process.
Yeah, that's the worst kind of pain. Like I have a lot of compassion for person who can't sleep at night because of the pain. That's the worst. Like you don't want that, because you can't heal, because you can't get in your because it's mostly at night that you regenerate yourself.
Yeah.
So you can't get that. So we stuck there. So we need to see. I often see someone like once a week until he can sleep at night, and then we can space out and give more time for the body to heal.
Okay. So it's like you're helping to start that progression. So not only are you're unblocking certain things for the natural healing process, but because you're meeting them once a week, you're kind of pushing it also a little bit further, so that, because obviously at this point your system doesn't know how to heal itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's quite in a shock. Like usually, like you always on the sympathetic systems for always a stress mode, and you don't get to reach the parasympathics, which is the one which is helping the regeneration. So there is that's a priority, the top priority. You shouldn't have anything more important in your life when at that stage. So yeah, it's something to take seriously, because
I'm literally thinking I have somebody in mind that I want them to go see you. Definitely.
Cool. Well, and so it takes more time when it's chronic, but there is hope. Like if we do the right thing, but it's definitely gonna go better. And for the person which I talk about, that I want to help to go back to physical activity and to accompany in there, like this takes time as well. I like your 3 months. A 3 month period is a good window. It's usually when you start a new exercise, you start something new, like it takes at least 3 weeks for your nerve connection to re-optimize with the muscle. So it takes 3 weeks for that, and then to really get more tonicity in the muscle and everything. I would say at least 1 month and a half. So I try to give some exercise like that I accompany with a person to give objective, and to see, okay, in 3 weeks we're gonna see each other, and we're gonna see how you master this exercise and how you improved in that, and then we're gonna see, like on the 3 months, like if we can have some realistic objectives about what we can attain, and that's how we do.
That's really good. And you talked about, I love how you made the association with like healing takes about 3 weeks, right? To have it start to happen, but it's the same for habits. So if
Mm-hmm.
we're building new habits, so a lot of what I do with my clients is, I meet them every 2 weeks so that they have 2 weeks of time between the time to be able to start putting into practice the things that we talked about. So similarly, the only difference is that you're manipulating the body in a way that allows the body to start making those changes itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we try to bring back mobility, but then you have to use your muscle to use this mobility, because if we get more mobility but we don't use it, like it's going to be lost right away.
We just
like,
had somebody comment saying, Mark was commenting, he says, I recently just visited an osteopath for the first time and I'm doing so much better.
Oh, I'm happy for you, Mark.
I know, but it's true. It's such like, and when we talk about holistic health, you talked about stress, people being stressed, therefore going through having pain in their body, unable to relax. And when I talk about the integrative practice of having multi-practitioners helping you on your wellness journey, it's not just one person. Like I have clients that see massotherapists and osteopaths because they're two different, they're two very different practices and how you help to heal and manipulate the body. But I also have clients that see me as a health coach and they also see therapists or psychologists or psychiatrists, and we each have, that's why I go back to this. I really want the education piece for people to know that the line that they're on for their health and their wellness journey has nothing to do with it's not one way. It's so much like I use my tree behind me as it branches out. There are leaves that come off of each branch, and this is what your wellness journey is. So to have somebody like you work with people on that physical aspect of the stress, for me is like, wow, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to maybe to share the difference between massotherapy and osteopathy because often people doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like a massotherapist gonna work mostly like on the muscle tensions.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have often like a more symmetrical approach, like you're gonna work in the same way both sides, and you're gonna follow your lead. If you say, okay, I feel I'm tense on that side, can you work on that? Well, after I'm saying that, but that's general. After there is some more specialized massotherapists who are gonna go.
Yeah,
like
I had a friend of mine on a couple of weeks ago, and she's got some specialties too. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's more muscle manipulation, deep tissue.
Yeah, and in osteopathy, we're gonna try to treat really to address all the tissues. So we try to find like if there is some density, something which is not having the proper texture, the proper mobility. So it can be bone, can be fascia, can be organs, can be anything, because everything which is living, which is in our body, is having like some elasticity and shouldn't be too dense. Even the bone tissue, people are often surprised, but bone should be like kind of elastic. It shouldn't be like
easy to
hard, like a stone. And we say, like, people know that usually when you break a bone, like sometimes the bone after is harder and stronger, and we think that's good, but that's not necessarily good, because the bone need to be like flexible to be able to adapt the stress. And so a bone which has received impact get more dense, and then it's less flexible, and it's putting more strain on the joints after.
Yeah.
So it's important to address that. So we address all kind of tissue, like even around the head. So we can help for the mobility of the small bones in the heads to help for the drainage of the blood flow and all that. So
people suffering from migraines probably don't realize that they have multiple tensions in their face, their heads.
Could be many things, but often
basically your job is to get in there and check out the body and see what could also be affecting them in a way. Like, the head, like I had pain in my shoulder, but it could have also been something with my hip, because of the misalignment, right?
Yeah, well, I'm careful with misalignment, because often after people, they imagine that they all crush.
Okay. No, see, it's good that you're here. You correct me as I go, because this is not my specialty.
No, but there is some osteopath. Many people, like, well, in Cairo does as well. They say, okay, your vertebra is tilted, or is your pelvis is misaligned and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm really careful with these words, because there is no one which is aligned. Like, we are not symmetrical. We, like, no one has the same length of legs. Like, we all like misaligned. But what is important is that there is some balance in all that, and there is some harmony. Okay, that's the key word, is harmony and balance. And often it's like the tension, the muscle tension, the visceral tension, which kind of pulls the structure, the bone structure, the joint out of the alignment of the place. But it's not really the bone structure which is misaligned. Except if you got hit by a car. This might be another story. but most of the time, like, it's just the tension that we hold, which pulls everything, like,
so something tight over here will be affecting something over here because of the fact it's tight over here. So in order to be able to, like, recalibrate, I guess, not realign, but recalibrate, you have to be able to balance the sides, or try to find that balance.
Yeah. It's like your clothes, you know, like, if you have like a pitch in your clothes here, it's gonna pull, like, in your neck. It's gonna, oh, my neck gonna end up like that. And it's just the same. Like, we have like a pajama underneath, which is the fascial pajama, which is like keeping everything in balance. But when there is some area which doesn't glide properly, like, it's bringing tensions and pulling things out of alignment.
I'm really excited because I actually have one of my friends in a couple of weeks, or maybe in about a month or so. He's a doctor and he specializes in myofascial release. So it's actually pretty interesting that I think you're the third person that I've had on my show talking about fascia. So it's going to be, I think that one's going to be a good one to talk about fascia. I think that's very important. This was really good. Is there anything else that you wanted to add about your practice? This is your little plug here, get people to come see you.
Well, I'm pretty booked, so I'm happy with that.
Good.
But I like to see new people, though. I like to, my point is not to continue to see the same person, like, until the end of the days. Like, I like to give person autonomy, and I like to tell them, okay, if you do like this and this, you're gonna be able to manage your tensions, and you won't be able to, you won't have to come back to see me. Like, you won't be dependent on me. I don't want to make you dependent. So I like to see new persons, to have new challenge and new things to address. But no, I mean, like, I was when I opened Hakini, like, I wanted to with yoga, like, to be able to make osteopathy more accessible, because yoga has a really similar approach on certain kind of yoga. I have to precise, because it's not all kind of yoga, but certain kind of yoga has a similar approach as osteopathy, as a tension addressing tool. Like, you're able to reach the tension in your body and to rebalance things. So I wanted to offer, like, yoga in Hakini, and to have this complementarity. But now I'm as I told you, like, I like to do it one-on-one with a person, and to be able to give her the tools to be self autonomous. Like,
autonomous.
Autonomous.
That's the goal. I think that's the goal in any specialty when it comes to health and wellness. Like, I know for myself, like, after 3 months, maybe 6 months, I really love to see my clients go and, make those changes and do those things themselves. So similar to you, giving them the tools and the understanding of what their body can do for them and how to fix themselves holistically. I think that's very key. I'm going to make sure, nonetheless, to put in the comments a link to Hakini, because you can go online. You can go online there. Obviously, you're the owner of Hakini Osteopath and Yoga School, but you have other osteopaths that work under your practice. Like you said, they have different specialties. So I'm here in LaSalle, but I mean, for those of you who are in Montreal, Verdun, LaSalle, any of the areas, I can definitely attest to the help that I had, not only from a yoga perspective when I was going to the school for my yoga practice, but also for the level of professionalism, how you guys run your business. I do respect what you guys are doing, and I appreciate having you in my network, Julien.
No, thank you very much, Crystal. I'm really happy to have the opportunity to explain a bit that in English, because I believe that the Anglophone community is a bit less prone to go to see an osteopath. There is more tradition of chiro, so I'm happy to kind of introduce that to the English community.
I love it. No problem. And I'm glad that you were able to come on here. Your English is actually amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, you did really good, especially because we changed multiple questions. We talked about everything. So yeah, definitely you're 100% right. So I am hoping that my Anglophone community is going to start reaching out. I'm pretty sure they will. Thank you so much, Julien. I really appreciate you being on the show. Thanks to everybody who's been watching. We've had a lot of people coming and going. We've got a couple of comments on here. The video will be available on my personal Facebook, but it will also be available on YouTube probably by the end of the day today. So you guys will have all the information there. Again, thank you, Julien. I totally appreciate it. And thank you so much for serving your community and serving your clients in a way that literally embodies integrative wellness.
Thank you for the invitation.